pum. A newborn king to see, ra-pum-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, ra-pum-pum-pum, to lay before our king, pa-rum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pum-pum, when we come. Little baby, ba-ra-ba-pum-pum, I am a poor boy too, ba-ra-ba-pum-pum. I have no gifts to bring, ra-pum-pa-pum-pum, that's fit to give our king, ra-pum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Shall I play for you, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, on my drum? Mary nodded, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my drum for him, ra-pum-pa-pum-pum. I played my best for him, ra-pum-pa-pum-pum, ra-pum-pum-pum, ra-pum-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, me and my drum. I played my best for him, ra-pum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, me and my drum. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. O-C-O. O-C-O. I hope that y'all are having a most excellent, most awesome, happy, joyous occasion, spending time with your family and friends on this wonderful occasion on this Christmas Day. Now we know that, at least most of us know anyway, that Christ, Messiah, Hamashiach, Yeshua, Jesus, was not born on this particular day. But it's a day that we chose to celebrate in memory of Yeshua. He was born, he died, and he came back again. It didn't end at the cross. It wasn't the end, it was the beginning. So, and also think of it like this. Think of it like this. You know, now I know people mean well, okay? But, some people have got this strange notion that it's honoring the baby Jesus. Jesus is not a baby. Yeshua is not a baby. He is grown. He is the King of all kings of all the ages. He is the creator. He is the great, beautiful one, or the beautiful, great one. You know, it's like when you have a birthday. Let's say, all right, we'll say my dear brother and friend and like a kind of like my adopted son, uh, Billy. Like say we honor Billy's birthday, right? We're not honoring baby Billy because he's a grown man. We honoring the day of his birth. It's another year to celebrate. A year older, but to celebrate another year of life, right? So it's like that's the way it is with the Christmas, right? So we think of it as the birthday of Jesus, but we're not celebrating a little baby. He's not a perpetual baby. He's not an immortal baby. No, but he is the King of Kings. Okay, just thought I would throw that little tidbit in there. I would like to throw a little Christmas quizzes at you a little later if I remember to see how many knows what about Christmas and what the Bible, the book of heaven says or talks when it talks about Christmas. I wonder how many is going to get it right and how many is going to get it wrong. Oh well. But if you get it wrong, look at it this way. A little information, that you can learn is to help make you more educated, all right? I am hoping that you are having a great time today. And if you can, how about spending a little time telling about how did you spend your Christmas? You know, what is your Christmas traditions and things? Now, me, I don't have a Christmas tradition. Our family never had a what you would call a Christmas tradition. Per se, is what most call a Christmas uh, tradition. And around here, we believe in gifts and things like that, but not the way most do. But the thing is, if our pocketbook allows us to, we're always happy to give to people, whether it's family and friends or strangers, it doesn't matter. And we don't ever expect anything back in return. It's not I give you something and I'm expecting something back from you. We know, because that's not what giving is about. It's about giving, it's not about the receiving, it's the giving. And some don't have to give. Some don't even have anything, at all. Some don't even receive nothing. Now with me, I didn't get no gifts like, you know, new stuff or anything for Christmas. Excuse me, pardon me there. However, I just wanted to say that I do know that the biggest gift that I got is, as it is with every day, another day of living. I have a roof over my head, I have food on the table, and a place to lay my head at night. I can stay warm, stay dry. That's a pretty good gift. That's a blessing. And you know, I can consider the biggest gift that anyone can have or receive is the gift of life. That's right. And the one who is the greatest giver of all, who has given us life, is Yeshua, Jesus. He has given us life. And, a lot of us have different traditions in ways. Hey, Merry Christmas, handicapped traveler. That's right, Jesus, Yeshua. Oh, oh. Yeah, so, I was talking about Christmas and things, like asking about people's traditions or how did they spend Christmas. How did y'all spend your Christmas there, traveler? How did you spend your Christmas? Would love to hear how you spent your Christmas day. And so I don't forget, I have thrown a link there if anyone wants to come up on the panel and chit chat that way. Oh, wow, you snowed in. How much snow did you get there, bro? How much did you get? We just did, well, here in Arkansas where I live, uh, we didn't even get a half inch. It was more like a dusting, but we sure did get the cold. I got 11 chickens out there, 5 are roosters, and about 3 of those roosters got a bad what do you call it, on their combs. They got a frostbite. And the other 2 not so bad. They didn't get any on their legs, which I'm thankful for. The hens, they didn't suffer for no frostbite on their little bitty combs. But yeah, wow, 14 inches, bro. Wow, man, and I bet you was freezing outside. Now it was really freezing out. With the wind chill and everything. Like, let's see if I'm getting the nights here right. Now I might get them wrong, but I think it was Friday night. I think that's right. Friday night we had with the wind chill and everything, it was like minus 17 degrees below. Yeah. And that was when those roosters, those 3 roosters got that bad frostbite on their combs. I mean, they'll live from it, but man, I hear you. Oh yeah, I hear you there. I'll tell you what. Now I've been hearing, some, on YouTube, these people. I guess they call themselves some type of weather officials, though they're not affiliated with any news or whatever. Saying that the Carolinas got a lot of snow, but from what I understand from those that I know that live there, that they didn't hardly get any snow. Yeah, I do too, bro. I do too, because, got that thing fixed up out there, where it should stay warm, but I mean, it got really cold. And yeah, I definitely feel bad for those roosters. And I got all kinds of hay in there and stuff, and those silly things refuses to go in the boxes where they can be nice and warm, except for the one, well, 2 of the roosters anyway. But they all like to get up there on the top of the boxes, the nesting boxes. They like they like to get on top of it, and they just freeze themselves out there, in that coop. So I went and put a bunch of hay on top of that coop, figuring that'll help them a little bit. And then there's a few of them there that likes to get on this roosting bar And there's this one where this one crack is where there's cold air come blasting through on that area, and that's where they want to get. Yeah, they do. Yeah. And what's funny is with those roosters, because it's not a very big coop. Now I let them free range. Now at night, they're in there they go in there at night, and then they're all right. I do a head count and fasten them up to keep the wild critters out. So I I sit there and get a little head count, and then I close them up, and then in the morning, early in the morning, I let them out, and off they go. And I'm trying to give away two of my roosters. They're a what do you call that? Americana and Buff Orpington mix. And as it is, I don't need five roosters. They're beautiful birds, but I don't need five of them because there two in particular, the ones I want to give away, one harass one particular hen. Poor thing, she's the last one to come in at night. She's scared to death. She can't get no peace, so she has to go off alone somewhere and hide. Yeah, so yeah. And one rooster, his name is Wendigo, and he's old. And I'll have to look it up. I can't remember how long is a chicken's lifespan. That is, if they have a healthy life, I mean, what is the average lifespan? I can't remember. So but I know he can't have that much longer of his life because it got him around the early part of 2019, around April, I think it was April of 2019. So yeah, he's starting to get old. And yeah, I would hope someone would want them there, Traveler. I really would. I really, really, I really would. But I, hey, I mean, all someone has if they live in Arkansas, all they got to do is send me an email, and it can set up a time. All they got to do is just bring a carrier or cage or something with them, and to come and get them. But they got to let me know a day in advance if they do. But if someone's traveling through and they're just coming through Arkansas, they need to let me know. Yeah, but I mean, because I'm sure someone might have some hens, and I suppose they might be wanting to hope that the hens would lay some eggs and hatch. But yourself, them eggs ain't going to hatch without no roosters. But maybe they want to have something for bad times. Maybe they want to raise some birds not just for eggs but also for meat. Because it is coming hard times. But yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get this thing going here. Ah, there I am. Oh, but and if anyone wants to come up here on this panel, want to chit chat, save your fingers from typing, you can do that. You don't have to have the camera on you. You can put up, do like this, where you can have your what do you call it, avatar or whatever, up like that, or hold on, if I can get there we go. Or you can have the video on you. It don't matter to me one way or another. It's whatever makes you comfortable. But anyway, I thought I would come on and chit chat with people here on Christmas, and especially if anybody didn't have anyone to spend Christmas with, they could come in and chit chat and shoot the breeze and talk about whatever. But before I get into some other chit chats, I would like to do a little quiz. How many will pass this? How many get it right, get it wrong, or maybe they just never thought about it? Okay, now here's the question. Get your thinking caps on. All right. Now, on about Christmas, as in related into the book of heaven, the Bible. All right. Now, can anyone first tell me the names of the three kings? I want to see how many get this right. The three kings that came to see uh Jesus, the baby Jesus. And yes, this is a little trick question. This is a trick question. I wonder how many will ever get that one right. And I believe, Traveler, you can get this one right because it's a trick question. You probably caught on to it. Did you catch on it? All right, notice I said, yeah, there was three magi. You caught that part of it. Because, see, a lot of people thinks it's three kings, but they weren't kings. They were wise men. But I will throw in another little tidbit. Now, a lot of people, now it takes a lot of studying on this, but a lot of people don't have time to do a lot of studying or whatever. Some like doing studying, some don't. But do you know what country the Magi came from? Now, that's kind of like outside of the book of heaven on the information. A little bit of it is. Okay. Think about it. What country did they come from? Didn't say countries, not plural, but country, singular. One country that they come from. All right, I'll give you a clue. The book of Daniel kind of gives you a clue on that. Okay, let's put it this way. All right, on the uh, country that they came from, we would say, as well, today it would be Iran. That would be Iran and Iraq, around in that area generally, right around there. All right. And they didn't come with camels. Right. Persia. You got it, bro. Persia. Okay. And they didn't come with camels. See, we're used to stories and in movies and different things that pictures three wise men, or some of them say three kings, that come from China, Africa, or someplace like that, and then the other wherever, right? But anyway, the thing is that they come from Persia, but they never had camels. See, because the Magi, from where they at, their type of status and what they believe, they didn't on their caravans, with them, they didn't like camels. They went horses, especially when it comes to long distances. Long distances, they used horses. And of course, they had more, and it was more than three. They had a whole bunch of people with them because the area that they were traveling through, well, it had a lot of bandits and such, thieves and such. So Yeah, they had to have quite a bit. So that was one reason why Herod was a little alarmed, should I say, with this armed escort. These men who came from Persia. Yeah, and a lot of people thought that Herod was a Jew, but he wasn't. But he was just a puppet king type thing, power mad, evil man, thing. But yeah, a lot of people though, we hear stories and stuff when we were growing up and as little kids, and sometimes in the Sunday schools and whatever and what have you, in other different places and stuff. They have three wise men that they call kings, three kings, but they weren't kings. So that kind of messes people up. That little part there gets them right there. Yeah, cause see, you know, that area, a lot of people don't bother to really take a look into history, and it is fascinating history, especially if you love the Book of Heaven and everything that's in it. It's good to know about those places and stuff because they come into play in future events as you start looking from the prophets into the book of Revelations. Yeah, it's good to know about those things and the countries that the apostles went to and everything. It's good to always know, like the Apostle Paul, the letters he wrote to people. That was pretty cool. Because if you got to understand the history of the people that he went to and wrote to and everything, it makes more sense about what he speaks about, what he gives in his letters. And because I remember a long time ago, as a young man, around 13, 14, I was looking into that. I loved it, but at the same time, it left me a little confused because I didn't understand certain things. So I mean, it goes to show if we don't understand certain things in our events or history, um, things don't, the picture don't come as clear. But you don't have to be a history scholar. But it's good to know those things, though. And I love the archaeology thing. It is awesome. The new things that they discover and stuff, especially when the what do you call them, atheists or people don't believe who say all that was fake and it never happened, when they find stuff that says yes it did. Oh, don't you feel like a fool? I, I I could remember we used to joke around with people that hated Christian holidays, a long time ago, long time back. We used to have fun out of them, joking, those who were devoted atheists, uh, and they was always complaining about, Christians always these holidays and all this other stuff, and I said, well, you shouldn't fill out a place. I said, they did think of you on one particular holiday. It's one day out of the year. It's the first day out of April. you know, just joshing with them. Some people would appreciate the joke, and even the ones that you was talking to appreciated it. And then you had the ones others who didn't. And so can't please everybody. No, no, no. And it's funny, you get some people who think they know everything about Native Americans, and they think, well, Native, if the person who's claiming to be a Native and they're claiming to be Christian, then they're not Native. Okay. Somebody has. had their head twisted on backwards. Sounded to me like they must believe in the Grinch. But anyway, yeah, I was. Excuse me. Yeah, this tonight. By the way, they're expecting we're us. So that's what my oldest brother told me, is that we're gonna be having freezing rain. Oh joy, freezing rain. And I worry about that cause about 5, 6 Christmases or winters ago, we had an ice storm came through, and the power lines went down out here, and it went right out there in a ditch line where the woods were, and it started a fire. And it was raining and freezing and everything else, and we had to call the power company and everything, and all that. They sent some crew out there real quick and got that taken care of, or it would have been real bad because there's a lot of pine trees. Let's see if we get this up here where I can see it better. In college, you got it. So angry in philosophy class. He told me to go to heck. I said I can't if God in heaven doesn't exist. Neither does hell. Good one. Good one. Good one. Good one, bro. That was a good one. I like that. That was really good. That was really good. Well, I've heard something where, some of them will come out and say something in the nature that God is a myth and all this and all that, and Jesus was a myth, the whole Bible is a myth, and he was just so upset about the whole thing, right? And I remember this one fella said to him, says, well, and since, all right, so you honestly believe that they're a myth. And he was using a few foul languages, and stuff, and says, yes, absolutely, myth, So he says, well, if they're a myth, then why are you so upset if it's just a story? You don't get upset about stories about Jack and the Beanstalk, do you? Or Mother Goose or any of them. You don't get mad about them, do you? So if that's a myth, why are you upset? Yeah, exactly there, bro. That freezing rain definitely absolutely dangerous. And that is most for certain. Most for certain. Yeah, because, you know, I've seen them where, the road is out here, all get so slick. A lot of, and sometimes, it don't even look like ice. It just looks like just wet roads. It's what, the black ice thing, people will think it's just wet. It's not ice or nothing, right? But next thing you know, people are always such fools out there on the road. They know that there's weather warnings and stuff, but I don't know what goes on in their heads. But they just gotta put on the pedal to the metal for some reason. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I noticed we got two people here, you and someone else. If they would just let's say howdy, or hey, or Merry Christmas. They could just say Merry Christmas. You know, they don't have to say anything if they don't want to. If they're just wanting to listen, but just a little Haiti hi and Heidi ho or Haiti hey and all that would be nice. Yeah, and I wish that second person who's watching and not saying that, I want to say Merry Christmas. uh, yeah, you're right. You know, they get everywhere. Uh, this this state, you know, we're not known for snow. Yeah, we do get uh, ice storms, but not often. So people around here don't really know how to drive in it unless they have lived up north at some point or time. Now, those people who've done that or have traveled around, you know, the U.S. for some time, now they know. But here in this state, they don't. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because, hey, you know, around out here, I'm kind of, even out here, I'm clumsy. Even in here, I'm clumsy. Um, my hip, my back gives me problems. And sometimes I get stoved up when you know, been sitting down or something for a while trying to get up. And I'm kind of bent over for a little bit until I can gradually get myself straightened up. But even then, I have to have a cane, and there's times I do forget my cane when I'm going outside. And there's been times I've had a little slip. You know, I lose my balance. But and then when I'm walking a dog, especially this one dog in here, other two is out over in my new cabin, and this one in here's in here with me, and she is very strong. She's part Dalmatian and American Bulldog, and yeah, you know what I'm talking about there, bro. Um, and anyway, uh, I can't take her for a walk. I have to take her. It's just a short ways around behind here. A little pin. Well, it's a fairly good sized pen where you can get proper exercise running around and all that kind of stuff. But she is really strong, and she looks more like American Bulldog than she does a Dalmatian. You know, she's a mix. But I have to use a rope leash on her to have better control of her. Because whenever I used those extension leashes, she pulled me down. She pulled me down on rocks. We got rocky terrain out here. She hurt me bad several times. Uh, oh yeah, them beagles. Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I love beagles. We had one dog. It wasn't a beagle. It was some kind of a spaniel, it was like a hunting, like a bird dog. Um, we named well. His name was Buddy. He was a stray. We took him. You know, he's gone now. Been gone for some time, but he was smart and he could be quite strong. But I always loved listening to him bay. He'd go out there like he would tell every wild critter. That was before we had any other dogs around out here. Like wanted to tell every other critter around here that he is in charge and that he owned the place, and he letting everybody know he was on the job. But he was a good dog. Uh, oh yeah, you know this dog here, she has a lot of strength. Now the other two, one is a mountain cur and black lab mix, but looks more of a like a black lab. But he's strong, but he's nice. He's got he's very gentle, you know, and he's got a good disposition and everything. And he listens really good to you. Now the other one is named Cheyenne, which is a husky and boxer mix, but more husky than anything. And that one is strong and got a lot of energy. So I mean, those two you definitely got to take out, but that one there, I usually let my older brother, my one older brother, or I got two brothers here, but my one older brother, I let him tend to that one when it comes to taking them for a walk. He's a mess. I got some videos on this channel earlier somewhere on here of him and Yaya. That's the Black Lab Mountain Cur mix, where they're out playing in a pen. Uh, but yeah, Huskies do have a lot of energy. Oh yeah, and Labs. Yeah, I had another one. He passed away um, the year before last, around no. Yeah, no, no. I'm sorry, I'm getting it backwards. Yeah, I had two dogs. They had that tick-borne disease called Ehrlichia, and that was a horrible death. What they went through, and that was with the medication. Finally, it got to a point where it was a little bit too much, so we had to do the most humane thing. But the lab, his name was Gimli. Lost him um January. If I'm getting this right, time gets away. I think it was the January of this earlier this year. I think maybe no, January of last year, and the year January prior to that was our little dog. He was a Boston Terrier, and but anyway, uh, Gimli, the lab there, he was so gentle. I love labs and I love golden retrievers. They're very special. I had one years and years ago. And my little Boston Terrier, he was given to me from my youngest daughter. I have two daughters, and he was so cute. She named him Boston, but because of his demeanor and everything, yeah, I called him the boss or just boss. uh, see here. Uh, oh, that lymphoma. Oh yeah, that's sad, there, bro. I love animals, and I hate to see any animal get hurt or go through any kind of diseases and stuff. That's always so hard. I mean, they are family, especially when you're talking about dogs or cats, whichever. Some people, of course, hey, eh, uh, anyone that is, that likes lizards, and call them pets, each to their own. I don't see a lizard as being a loving, something that gives back love. Okay, but that's what they are. I mean, still, if you lose one that you have as your family member, it's hard. And yeah, but yeah, those little Boston Terriers, yeah, I love them. I'd been wanting one, before I'd gotten uh, Cheyenne, the Husky mix there. I'd been wanting one, not to replace my little bosses because I just love Boston Terriers. I never had one until my daughter gave it, and I just fell in love with that little fella. He was my good buddy. You know. Yeah, I tell you what, he was a cool little dog. Yeah, he was something else. And also that Gimli. I named him Gimli after the dwarf Gimli out of the Lord of the Rings, Not he wasn't short, or nothing, but I seen the outtakes of the movie The Lord of the Rings, the director's cuts, and where the Gimli the dwarf had do a lot of belching and all this kind of stuff. Well, and passing gas. Well, that was Gimli. You know, that was my black lab. That was the way he was. So that's why I gave him the name Gimli. He had a lot of gas. Come out the front door or the back door. And my little boss, he had a gas, but whenever he would come up and sleep on the bed with me, he had his own little bed that was on my bed, and he would sleep on it. But sometimes he would have his butt facing right towards my face, and boy, when he let him rip, oh, I tell you what, you was asleep, you woke up. You woke up, that's for sure. Uh, oh, now that is a true loyal friend. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing about dogs. You know, I love dogs. I haven't heard of a lot of cases where cats show loyalty. Don't get me wrong. I love cats. You know, as in I love all animals. But for me, I would prefer a dog. Not that I don't care for cats, but I would prefer dogs. You know, as far as me having, uh, yeah. I tell you what, bro. I mean that you have a you have a dog that's got the gas problem. I tell you what, where you go and get them where they're laying down on your bed and they got that butt right there facing you in the face and they let them rip. Now that will wake you up. You don't need an alarm clock. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Dogs, there's just something about them. They're more of one that will show more loyalty and show more affection. A cat is too independent, really. You know, a cat couldn't care less if you petted them or not. All they want is, feed them. Maybe they might take a notion saying, yeah, hey, hey, come over here. You got my permission. Pet me. Two strokes is enough. Okay. All right, that's enough. Meow, that's enough. Yeah, that's a cat for you. And they'll take their notions on wanting to show up when they want to. If they want to go out and do a little hunting, and their idea of hunting with some, not all cats, but with some, is to go to your neighbor's house to see what the food is laying out there for their pets. you know, or if they're gonna go, maybe they just in the mood for a little loving from some feline female, and so they're out there looking at, but they don't care anything about how close you are to it or whatever. No, it's like I'm the boss. You work for me, okay? Now that's a cat for you, right? Cats. No, I love cats, but I'm not a cat person. My grandmother had a cat. Now this was back when I was like 12 years old. uh, yeah. Those cats are like that. There's a few of them, but they're rare. But you do get a few of those. My grandmother had a cat. Uh, All right, it was an orange uh, cat, right? Orange color. And my my uncle's two kids, little boys at that time, uh, had named the cat after my grandfather. Because see now everyone always called my grandfather Charles, or just CB, but or some just called him Mr. Carr, but anyway, what was really funny was that the boys found out that their grandfather's first name was Charlie. So they named the cat after him. They call him Charlie Pussycat. Well, my grandparents had a garden, and I would help on weekends when school was out, spend the weekend sometimes with my grandparents, and I would help my grandmother out in the garden, help picking, the green beans and all that kind of stuff, and peas and all that. So we'd, and then we'd spend the rest of the day after that snapping peas. But when we was out in the garden, because the green beans and all them, was real thick. And that cat would come out there, follow us out there, and then that cat would be like hide and seek and tag. We'd come over and jump on you and run, and you never knew where that cat was going to come out from and when it was going to get you. Come over and jump on your back and put all its claws in you and then let go and run off. And at first it did it to me, and then turn around all running, and my grandmother sitting there laughing, at me, and the cat. And the next thing you know, I heard the awfulest noise. My grandmother was screaming and hollering, and she was having a few colorful metaphors coming out of her mouth. And next thing you know, I'm sitting there looking over, and that cat comes up on her again and gets her in the back, and then I'm sitting there start laughing. But yeah, you get some cats that that they can be comedians. Oh, she had a bunch of little stray cats from all over come around on her back patio, and she had a glass sliding door, and we'd be at the kitchen table, eating and looking out and have a dinner and a show. Those little cats would be having themselves a high old time. We would be just sitting there laughing our heads off, watching those cats playing around and carrying on. But like I said, I got my love for animals was from my parents and my grandparents. But I I don't I'm just like I said, I love cats, but I don't I'm just not a cat person. I love dogs because they in return give you that love, affection back, and their loyalty. And you ain't it's not often you ever going to find a cat that's going to protect you against someone who wants to do you harm. Or if you're going to drown in a river or you fall in it, a cat ain't going to pull you out. A dog's more likely to do that than a cat. uh, yeah, those the animals, I always love them. Now I got birds. Now originally they are not my birds except one. Now one is my bird. Originally, my ex, she more or less did not take these birds. She wanted these birds. She got them, and she vacated without an explanation or nothing. She just. But I was left with these birds. Originally there was 6 parakeets over it in one big cage. Now there's only 4 because 2 of them died and don't know what happened to them. And then had 2 finches, zebra finches. One of them died. I think I'm not for sure, but I think she got something stuck in her crop. I don't know. That's just a guess on my part. And then I got a little diamond dove. And sometimes you will hear her in the background. She sounds like a little flute. Yeah, animal people now. That's that. Yeah. I always sit there and say you can uh you can always know how good a person's demeanor is, uh, if I'm putting it right, is by their love of animals and how they get along with animals, or should I say, how animals get along with them. You know, I don't know if you heard that. Every now and then you'll hear a little. Did you hear that? It's faint, but you can hear her. Boop, 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 boop. She's yeah, that's my little diamond dove. I call her because of the little white specks on her feathers. I call her spotted feather. Yeah, see, some people on my other videos and stuff I did, they thought that they could hear a flute in the background, and that would be her. Yeah, because yeah. Now, she is awesome. Uh, I, I just get a kick out of her. She's a precious little thing. She's a bluish, what I'd call a bluish gray and white. Yeah, my mother had a cockatiel, and then I think she had it for 4, 5 years, and then it died. That was one of it. And my mother, you can get a more of a one who takes as good as care of animals as what she does, especially. And that we never knew what happened. So yeah, I mean, it was um, it was really something. Uh, you know, we never could figure out what it was. Yeah, that's like now these birds, even though they're in a my ex, though she vacated them. Well, they ended up becoming mine, and I didn't think I could handle all them and the chickens and the dogs and all that, but you grow attached to them. Now, I love like I said, I love all animals, and I'm not going to mistreat any animal. And birds are very, they're awesome. They're peaceful, and especially doves, like this diamond dove, or any kind of dove. Or any birds. There's something special about them. Oh, that I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's tough. That's like out of my chickens here. See, I had 6 birds that I mean hens that only one. Well, I got more than that, but out of these particular ones, I got at Tractor Supply, right? When they were little chicks, they were 5. All right, there was 5 buff Orpingtons, and one what do you call it? Wyandotte, a golden lace Wyandotte. I still got her. All right, one of those golden laces. This dog here, the one I told you, that's a Dalmatian American Bulldog. My brother put a harness on her, but he would not use the. I told him that he needed to use the rope leash to take her out, but he wouldn't do it. He was going to use the extension leash thing. So he took he took her out, and she's real strong, and then plus she gets rambunctious and stuff, wants to goof off, and then she saw the chicken, so she wanted to go out. She started to wrap them around, so he let go of the leash, and she went out after, and she got a hold of the one chicken, and killed her. He didn't get on to her. He should have then, so the dog would know that it was doing wrong, but I wasn't going to get onto the dog because it'd be after the fact, right? The dog was only doing what a dog does, I mean, when something moves or runs, I mean, that instinct, you know how they are. Was I happy about it? No, I wasn't happy about what happened, but, yeah, chickens, sometimes I think sometimes when those dogs when they're out in the pen, I know that ain't so, but sometimes you swear that you think that those birds, those chickens or something that's coming out there to tease those dogs. But it is always a fascinating thing with dogs and cats and birds and stuff. You know, uh, yeah, yeah. You get angry with them, right? And if you catch them at the moment, see, because they're not going to understand. Well, you know this. They're not going to understand that they're doing wrong if you wait after the fact when they do something like that. You have to get on to them then to let them know that you're not happy with them. That was a wrong behavior. That's not the way you do things. I mean, because dogs are smart. But and then dogs can be like people. Some dogs are smarter than the others. I mean, all dogs are smart, but some they learn real quick. Some are slower, but they still learn. And so you have to be patient with them, which that ain't easy, but you got to. Because I mean, you love them just like you with me with my daughters. I loved my daughters. I still love my daughters, but when they were little, sometimes they try your patience, but you still love them. So, but like with the animals, I mean, they're like your like with the dogs or cats or whatever, they're like your furry kids. But you have to remember that they are just that as animals. So you gotta, if they do something wrong, you got to let them know that it's not acceptable, especially with a dog. It's not cool. But I I couldn't get on to her well after the fact, after the crime of killing the one hen. But you know, that was that bothered me. But you know how that is, right? It's after the fact. You still love the dogs. Me, I won't get on to a dog after the fact. It doesn't do no good. It has to be when the bad behavior has been, done right then and there. That's when you have to get on to them so they like, oh, okay, all right, hey, I won't do it again. I'll try not to. I honestly try. I promise. I'll try. I'm sorry. And then they'll come over and give you a big old kiss, or kiss your hand, or something. That's a dog for you. But they're loyal. and I love them. People always give a pit bull or Rottweilers and German Shepherds and other things. They always give them a bad rep. It's not the dog; it's the people. You know, and they blame. Like it's illegal in some places to have a pit bull. They're taking a crime out on a dog because of some stupid owners who ain't got no sense and don't know, they don't know how to raise a dog. It's like a man or woman that has kids that they spoiled rotten and let get by with everything under the sun. Then they go around and, like if they go out and hurt somebody. Oh, well, that's just okay. You're just kids. Ha ha ha. Well, that's the way some of them are about dogs. They let the dogs get by with stuff, and some of them make them that mean in the first place. It's not the dog's fault. But, you get these idiots. That was like back when I was still married, my wife. All right, this dog here, Sassy Dakota, she's the one that's Dalmatian American Bulldog mix. She don't know how to play. She just a rough player. She likes to play rough. She doesn't, like dogs, when they come over, when they're playing, when they bite, playing. Well, she was, my wife was sitting there rough handling her, and I told her, I said, don't do that. I said, she's too strong and she'll hurt you. And I said, don't ever, I mentioned her not to yank her hand out of her mouth whenever the dog, bites down a little too hard. Don't do it. Just tell her to let go. No bite, you know. Well, she didn't ignored me, and then yeah, she pulled her hand, and when the dog was playing with her, so it cut her hand. Her one tooth cut her. So naturally we had to take her to the doctor, ER. Well, I don't know. Those people down there, they found out what kind of dog she was. So they were going to start this big business about the dog and had to have the dog checked out and asked my wife did she want to press charges against the dog. Now, what kind of idiot is like want to press charges against the dog? Well, no, she didn't want to do that. Oh, but had to go get her checked at the vets and all this and blah blah blah, and they had to have the records to prove that you did, and all this kind of stuff. Because if it didn't, it's gonna have the sheriff come out and take the dog. Well, the sheriff came out and looked at the dog and and said there ain't nothing wrong with that dog. So, but you just take it to the vets and whatever, and that's all there is, and yeah, people get bad notions about the wrong breed of dogs, like, well, to me, it's not the wrong breed, it's the wrong people. But, what they call the wrong breed, if it's American Pit Bull, or Petey or whatever they want to call them, and Dobermans, Rottweilers, etc. That's right. That's right. You have to press charges against the owner. So could you imagine if you have a dog that's well behaved and it's what the law calls or idiots out there who call the wrong type of dog, let's say a pit bull, a Rottweiler, Doberman Pinscher, etc., right? Okay, now you're home, the dog's inside your home, you're sitting there, everything's going great, all right, and then someone breaks in and they're going to hurt you. So your dog goes after them to protect you. And so it goes after them, tears them people a new one, right? So, naturally, you got this person sitting there on the floor bleeding and everything, but you have to call the law, and then they got to call the ambulance and everything. And guess what? Even though you have a beware of dog sign, the criminal can sue you, and they'll come and take your dog away. And even though the dog don't is up on its shots and everything, they can put your dog down and fine you or arrest you or whatever. Criminals has got more rights than law-abiding people. Isn't that terrible? But that's the way it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way people are. I mean, it's like, man, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why do these people want to be like that? I have no clue whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, we sit there and we hear in the news every day about these people going into the stores, yeah, robbing and looting and everything, and the store owners can't do nothing. They get, or they choose not to do something or whatever, but, they get out the door. They just let them loose and they go on. And those people, the cops don't even go after them. And when some of those store owners had called the cops too afraid to do anything because of these wokers who started saying Black Lives Matter. It had nothing to do with being black or white or anything. It's just criminals who want the excuse of committing a crime, the right to do it. That's what they want, the right to commit the crime, because they think everyone owes them. And if they're not hollering Black Lives Matter, they're hollering gay rights and stuff. And let's do the stealing. Let's go burn somebody's house down because we believe in gay rights. Let's protest against these people over here because we don't like their Christmas lawn. So let's go burn down the whole town. Yeah, all these people get by with doing the most harmless crimes, unthinkable crimes, and they don't and they don't go to jail. And these governors and some of these mayors in certain ones of these cities where all this stuff goes on, they allow it. But if that mayor or governor gets attacked, oh, call in the National Guard. Yeah, right. Uh, yeah, you know, uh, and the thing is, people, bro, they don't, okay, all right, let's say that, all right, I have nothing wrong with get that word out of my mouth. I'll get it out. Pathicism. Am I saying it right? Pacifism. Anyway, I have nothing against it, and it's a good policy. But here's the thing: if you're going to, you have to learn. You gotta protect. Even the good book talks about protecting the innocent. And the handicaps, and so don't say handicap, but you know what I mean. It implies all that to protect the innocent. If any of us sit back and allows a crime to take place, and so we'll call the cops and we'll wait for them to come out and settle. Meantime, a person's going to die or get so hurt bad that eventually, I mean, they might as well die. If we don't do something to protect that person, then are we not just as guilty? I mean, think about it. Are we not just as guilty? You know, exactly. You know, you gotta, Yeah, just like you said right there, that's the way it is. But when, I wouldn't like being arrested, but thing is, if I have to protect someone, even if I don't know the person, if they're innocent, if it's an elder person or a child, or there's some woman being somewhere being attacked, and they're being overwhelmed and stuff by this person or persons. I mean, you know, hey, rather that I get attacked by these people than that person, I wouldn't send by and do nothing. Sure, I could call the law or something, but I'm not going to wait till no law gets there. And I don't care if they want to arrest me, and if they break in the house, I don't look to go around and hurt anybody, but when they come in to hurt someone that you love, or somebody that cannot defend themselves and such and everything, you have we have to be responsible. We have to learn, what does the love of humanity mean in our hearts. You know, uh exactly. You said it right there. You said it right there. You won't let no one hurt your wife. No one in their right mind, bro, is gonna. And the key word is right mind. See, you're in your right mind. Anyone that's in the right mind will not allow someone to hurt a family member or even a child, even if you don't know that child from Jack Adams. You're not going to allow someone to get by with that. You're going to do something to protect that child, you know. And the thing is, you see all this that goes on. It's terrible. You got all kinds of evil in this world of different sorts and natures out there. I now I've heard people now are sitting there trying to say that that Christmas is racist. Yeah, that's that woke crap. That woke twisted thinking. Yeah, I mean, seriously. All right, now if those people, like say for instance, that's their, even if their thinking is crazy and they're keeping it to themselves, not forcing it on you or me or anyone else, that's their business. They have every right to think stupid if they want to think stupid. If they want to be that way, that's their business. That's their thing. But to enforce it on you, me, and everybody, that's insanity. uh, yeah, I mean they're crazy. That's right. Used to. Now there's only very few states left that have the law. Let's see, what did they call that? Uh, they got a name for it. Anyway, it's where, if someone comes onto your property and that person is in their intent is to do you harm, whether it's in your yard or they're going to come into your home, and if you feel threatened by that person, you would have the right to shoot, to do what you can to stop that person, and you, because you have the right to defend your home. There's a few places left now where that law can apply, but thanks to this communist way of thinking now, and these wokers that don't have no common sense, and all this other crazy nonsense, I mean, it's insanity. Kind of makes you wonder if that stuff that they're shooting people, that that's supposed to help you because of the CVID stuff that is supposed to help you. Well, it kind of makes you wonder what was really in that. Because it's like, if you look back from the time that that outbreak happened to this day, and because of this stuff, you ever notice there's more insanity going on? And I'm talking about not the first ones that they come out. I'm talking about the ones they kept saying, well, you got to get more. You got to get more of that. Yeah, it does make you wonder. Because you're sitting there like, man, we always had crazy people in this world. But if you think back when all that insanity first started, think about it. Now that's just me thinking. I mean, it might not necessarily be so from that, but it makes you wonder. you know, it's a crazy, crazy world we live in. It's a crazy world. Oh, okay. I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. All right, on traditions around Christmas. What is your favorite traditions on Christmas? Let's see what we got there. We got first. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, bro. I always got the one, got the first, and then when I found out that stuff didn't help you one bit, it didn't, I like, nah, I ain't taking no more. I mean, nah. Yeah, same way, bro. But on Christmas, on traditions, okay. What is your favorite traditions for Christmas that you like to do? Just curious. You know, I don't have a tradition per se, but I don't know. I guess you'd say, well, is family dinner time. you know, um, like nowadays, it's just me, my brothers and my mother. Used to be my father, but he passed away in 2015 in November, before Thanksgiving. And but anyway, have our meal together. Say a prayer, being thankful for our time, and as a family, and having that time together. Grateful for another day of living. You know, yeah, there. I that the same year, 2015, but yours passed away some months before my papa. Yeah, he passed on November 7th. November 7th. It was somewhere between 10 and 11 p.m. You know, that was really hard. That was really hard. I loved my papa. We used to sing together and stuff. And uh, he wasn't a perfect man, but he was a good man. He was he loved church, and he loved singing, and especially gospel songs. So and he could play guitar. And he was a great man, and I miss him. We all do. I really miss my papa. And I loved him. And close, but I was closer to my mother. And now my mother's health is going. And I know that it's gonna affect me big time. And the only way I'm gonna get through that is with the beautiful great one. The beautiful great one is the only one that can help, because I know that how I just know that I couldn't handle it. Know that I couldn't handle it. That'd be really hard, man. Really hard. I tell you. Oh man, I don't know. It's been. Excuse me. Hold on. It's it's been really hard, but yeah, I can understand what you. I understand what you mean there, bro. Yeah, 92. She's lived a long time. My mother. It's hard for me to keep up with her age. I might be wrong, be off a year or two, but I think she's 88 or 87. Um, but she's in, she's entering into what one would call like the, I guess you call it the early stages of the dementia. And and it seemed like though it's really taken a toll on her memories, and it all started because she'd gotten that what do you call that, that red thing, that it's from because you had chicken pox, and then you get that when you get older it comes back, flares up, and it's like a itchy red rash thing. You know what I'm talking about? I used to know what you call that. Because I used to have it at one time, long time ago. But uh, yeah. Anyway, she it started out with that, and then and it wasn't clearing up. They give her medicine and everything to clear it up, but uh it isn't clearing up and everything still after all this time they've given her medicine and it ain't working. But it's like after that, then her mind, you know, I tell you one thing, is with her though. Now I mean, though there's some of us can't ain't physically, well, a couple of us anyway, isn't quite physically able to help physically take care of her, but there are, like I have an ex sister-in-law. I still see her as my sister-in-law. That's a long story, but she still loves my mother and she still tries to help my mother and stuff. And that's what it's going to really take when it comes down to it. A woman, because I have a lot of respect for my mother, and I'm not going to cause her to, to feel embarrassed in any form of way. You got to show her some dignity and honor. She's a woman. She's, so, um, so it take a woman, to be, to help take care of her. Someone that's family. Hopefully, Uh, but put her in a nursing home. She already said she wants to be home. That's why I told any of my family. I told my family. If any of my family members even suggest her going to a nursing home, I, I said we're gonna go outside and have a big conversation going on. Maybe a trip to the woodshed. But yeah, I mean, some of us, there's some people that can't. I don't. I can't sit there and say because everyone's situation is different. you know, because, like with you, because you can't physically take care of her. Um, and everything, but I would always tell people, try to find an alternative. Like in other words, if one can't physically do it, is to find another way without going to nursing homes. Because I used to work in a nursing home, and I know what goes on to those places. I've worked in not one, several of them, and I've quit those. But and go to work. I don't know, hoping they would be better, but no, there's all kinds of bad stuff. You can't trust them. You can have only one or two good persons in a nursing home that works there, but you have others that are pretty bad. Yeah, that I remember when I used to work at a nursing home. There was this lady. She was real big, right, and she was heavy, you know. And there's no way one person, let alone two people, could get her out of the bed. So they had this special hoist. It's like I forgot what they call that thing now. But anyway, it's like a sling with a seat, and chains and stuff. Where a thing, it hoists them up. In other words, off of the bed so they can clean the sheets and stuff. Uh, yeah, because yeah, a Hoyer lift, exactly. That's it. Yeah, that's what it was. And I remember that one particular night, that lady, it was a graveyard shift, and all right, the lady, see, I had to work one whole wing by myself. First of all, you're not supposed to be working a wing by yourself, but because some of these younger ones would call in sick, and they weren't even sick, right? And so next thing you know, guess what? Yeah. Now they had two people working on that other wing, but I had to work the wing by myself. And when there have no matter which wing it is, if one patient or a resident there has to be on that Hoyer lift, you got to get someone else from the other side to come help you. Just long enough to get the person into that and get it, right. Well, they didn't want to do all that stuff, and I remember uh, I couldn't do it, and so if I remember right, I sit there and said something to the lady, the head nurse, there on that shift, saying something that this was wrong and everything. I said I was going to quit. I said, I didn't come here to have to work all by myself, do all this by myself, and then something like it happened to this for this lady, because I said shouldn't have to suffer and all that. Well, that's when those others decided she's going to tell them to come over, and they're going to come over and help. Well, we got her up on the lift, cleaned the bed and everything, got her back situated. Come morning, I entered in my resignation. That was it. Yeah, I tell you what, I tell you what, I just, man, and I was, how old was I then? I was, I'm not real sure. I think I was 17 then when I did that one. And then of course I ended up going to the military, and then after being out for a few years out of the military, when I was out, before I went to one last job at a nursing home, and after that, I was like, the ones that are here in the state, I would never ever recommend anyone in the state of Arkansas put their parent in a nursing home in this state. You mess up if you're in this state doing it in this state. There is no reputable nursing home. The only way you can do it best is to have you know someone, you check them out thoroughly too, is someone that will come into your home and help take care of them. And if you don't have room for them, that's okay. They can come up every day, and if there's any emergency at night, they come right up there at night and take care of it. But yeah, someone who's like that. Uh, but when it comes to nursing homes, and not any in this state, I wouldn't recommend not one in the state of Arkansas. No, but you know I I know there's a lot of them in a lot of states, but there's probably some good ones, that I don't know about. But I would suggest people thoroughly. I would recommend anybody who's thinking about, for whatever reason, thinking about putting their mothers in or fathers in a nursing home, that they need to check it out thoroughly before they. I mean, boy, do the rundown, do some investigating, check them out thoroughly, not just halfway do it. Check them out, because that's your parent, the one that always wiped your bottom and took care of you when you're little, and all that. We owe them that. That's like with my mother. She don't want to go to no nursing home or anything. Even my father said that. Of course, he died in the hospital, and but his hope that what he was the way the doctors thought that we could take him home like in a few days. But those few days never came. He passed away, before that, and but he was wanting to be home, and I wish he could have. But I know he is home. I know he meant this home here, but now he's in the home. Yeah, yeah, that's what yeah, that's it. Shingles. Yeah, thanks, bro. That's what my mother has, is the shingles. And see, I had it, and that got cleared up, and that was back. I think it was like 2011, 2012, or somewhere around in there, I guess. In other words, it's been a while, and but I remember what it felt. It itched, and it was all red and everything, and it felt like, to me, the way it felt was like, have you ever had lighter fluid or anything like that spill on your skin and it burned? The liquid burned. That's the way it felt. You know, that's the way it felt. And I tell you one thing, that was very uncomfortable. And I knew, and this is on mom's thigh, uh, and back behind, on her thigh, where you have to sit down on it, and it was really hard on her, still is. And so she can only lay a certain way at night, and or sit a certain way in a chair, and one of them doctors, or some doctors, was saying that sometimes, not in every case, but they said sometimes, that with a person, an elderly person, when the rash doesn't heal properly and all this, blah, blah, blah. They used a lot of medical terms and stuff. Basically, they were saying that can cause dementia or be, which I never heard of that before, but I see the results of it, right? And so I'm like, that's weird. I never heard of it, but I just know what I see and I hear from her. And but the thing is, I just don't understand why. Or were they even giving her the right medication for that? Uh, because see, when I was first found out, that I had shingles, they gave me a shot, and I had to take the pills, you know, and but they never gave her a shot. I don't get that, it just don't make no sense. But anyway, oh, I'm trying to keep from sneezing. Oh, uh, yeah, and I've been sitting over here in this chair for now. Yeah, it's a camping chair. I used to have this one chair that was real comfortable. It was like one of those. It was like them office chairs. It's got the padding and I think it's good on your back. It's on wheels, and then that one day, thing just snapped. Well, I didn't have another, so got this thing. Someone gave it to me, and then my brother got me one of those metal folding chairs, which I would use it, but the problem is I don't have no cushions yet for it. uh, yeah, yeah. Okay there. Well, bro, I appreciate you dropping in, and I want to say again, Merry Christmas. And I want to say I really appreciate you dropping in. Very much I do. I enjoyed our little chat here, rare bro. And let's see here. I am going to well, that's the wrong thing there. Where is that thing? Oh yeah. I am going to pull this up here, and I'm fixing to play this as we get ready to go out. And I want to say, I love you, bro. And hey, Merry Christmas to you and your wife and to your family, everyone. A Merry Christmas. And hey, remember us in your prayers, and let us always, always remember, pray for one another, love one another, and hey, I will catch y'all later. And here we go. Y'all know that one, right? Till later. Love y'all, and we'll end this with this song. They told me, a newborn king to see, our finest gifts we bring, to lay before our king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, when we come. Pum-pum, that's fit to give our king, rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum.